because I'm just gonna go for mine. This is Volothan Modulus Tautology. And this is like my 4th recording. I be having so much fun playing with these new devices that I'm working with, and it's like I be having to start over. So I already did like a whole 2-hour show. But because of how the levels and this new functionality that I found is weird, but it's dope. What I'm about to share with you is a little bit of Dragon Quest 3. All right. Now I'm gonna call this program Antifa Democratic Transformers are the proud Republican boys. Let me repeat that. Antifa Democratic Transformers are the proud Republican boys. I'm saying this because as a foundational Black American, and we're saying that with pride now, and they scared. Now you can tell they scared because they sending our own to attack us, and then I ain't trying to talk bad about my Pan-Africanist American friends, and family, but I mean, it's like, how many times do we have to like listen to Umar Johnson again? I'm waiting for Mark Lamont Hill to make something that's, next level thought, but we know. So I've been knowing Tim Black a lot, and just going to his shows and the Most Dangerous Podcast, and I'm gonna share a little bit of that today. Not what the show was today, but what he did earlier this week on Monday. And then I'm going to just do what I do, enjoy life, So, and then in the background, as you can see, is the world map, and then I have an outline of Dragon Quest 3 is the game that I'm playing. I'm going to share a little bit of some gameplay. Let me see here. I keep losing stuff when I'm here alone, What I do with the remote. Bear with me for a second. How y'all liking this loop? I shared this one before. I don't know if I posted it though. Like sometimes I record stuff and then I don't post it. Because I mess up and stuff like that. I'm using OBS software still. I might go live later on. Well, today is tomorrow and tomorrow is the next day. Like that's how we running things right now. This is Volothan Modulus Tautology. Make sure y'all hit that like button, subscribe, and share. I need subscribers. I'm trying to get my subscriptions up. As I on my quest to get 100 subs. Then once I get 100 subs, then we can probably start doing some giveaways, right? That's usually how it works. Sharing a little bit of bits and glory today. Only because I couldn't do, I've been having technical difficulties. I wanted to link my phone up to this, but so that I can play the original Dragon Quest on the Super NES. So I want to do a quick show of an 8-bit version of the game, and then I'm going to do a little bit of on the Switch, hopefully if I got time. And then my backdrop is, the 2D HD remix or whatever. So, but that's the game I'm playing right now is Dragon Quest 3. And then, my son, he's Zelda's 35th anniversary, so he's been playing a lot of Zelda. Well, he's trying to play some Zelda finally. Breath of the Wild is his game right now, but I think that might still be top secret, information. So fair use on the stuff that I'm sharing. I'm doing it for educational purposes, about a 1975 copyright laws. And the best way to, for Tim Black is to actually just share them, because if I don't do that and click the link, and a lot of people ain't gonna go over, because his content is a little mature, but he's not as bad as he's not as aggressive as the other, like Professor Black Truth, and Tariq Nasheed is actually the kind of tame compared to Professor Black Truth and Jason Black. Then you got the ladies out there, and we'll share more of them and stuff. But I do be, adding them to links and stuff so people could check them out. But I'm more game theory, group theory, and color theory is what I'm working on. These are real mathematical terms and ideology. My only issue is with color theory. Now you're dealing with real abstract ideologies. Well, I hate using that word for when saying abstract, because it is real. It ain't fake. It's just that, what are emotions really? And that's the biggest hurdle in trying to get artificial intelligence to actually be more human. So what you're seeing is Dragon Quest 3, the original on the Super NES there, and he's playing the game a little bit for you. I just wanted to show you the low quality aesthetics, or the low bit aesthetics is what my son would say. And then I'm going to, when I come back, I'm going to share a little bit of the what will be more like a 32-bit version. Even though it's on, Nintendo Switch 2 hardware, I'm gonna be running it off of. So we are talking about like a higher bit count as far as graphics and stuff, but it does simulate something more like a PlayStation or Sega Saturn would probably be the best idea when talking about the original 2D HD graphics and stuff, because that really wasn't a 3D powerhouse, like I'm using powerhouse in quotes, when compared to the Sony PlayStation and the Nintendo 64, right? I think the Jaguar might have had the same kind of issues when we're talking about the 5th generation of gaming consoles, but we'll get more into what generations was which generations with gaming consoles, just like we're doing it with Gen X, baby boomers, we talk about generations of people, I'm a Generation X, and I say that's 1960 to 1979, just to make it a nice even 20-year interval, right? But we'll get more in explaining that again sooner or later. But and I'm trying to set things up in the background. That's why I'm kind of doing it the way I'm doing it, without running my ear off and repeating the same, abstract logical theory that I've been developing for the people to help understand the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding that we need to achieve freedom, justice, and equality, right? Hip means to know. It's a form of intelligence. To be hip means to be up to date and relevant. Hop is a form of movement. You can't just observe a hop. You gotta hop up and do it. Hip and hop is more than music. Hip is that knowledge. Hop is that movement. Shout out to the teacher, right? Karis One. And then the other song I was doing earlier over and over again was Black Cop, right? Because we're dealing with a lot of ICE and, politically and in the media, because people are still boycotting ICE, and that Karis One's Boom Bap album, that's the first really Black Lives Matter album, The lyrics kind of went like this, right? Black cop, black cop, black cop, black cop. Stop shooting black people, we all gonna drop. You don't even get paid the whole lot. So take that M16, put it on lock. Take that Uzi, put it on lock. Black cop, black cop, black cop. 60 years ago, there were no black cops. Couldn't even run, drive round the block. Recently, police trained black cops to stand on the corner and take gunshots. This type of warfare isn't new and nothing shock, right? Or something like that. And then we'll I figured I'd do Sound of the Police by the end of the year, Whoop, whoop, that's the sound of the police. But we'll get into more of that. Plus, I want to see how this comes out because it keeps going in and out, and I'm like, I'm kind of amazed by the little audio effects that I have on this thing is a little more powerful than I thought, and it's cute. But we'll figure all this out as we go on and on, because I'm gonna go straight into this Tim Black, and then I'll set up for a little bit more Dragon Quest, and we'll get more into explaining the beauty of life, right? So let me hit pause on this. And I'll switch right over to the studio. And I'll be back.
Not only our Muslim communities, but African communities, Asian communities, Hispanic communities, and the wave still continues. It's not going to stop, nor should we want it to stop. And as a matter of fact, it's one of the things I think we can be most proud of. So there's a second thing in that black box, an unrelenting stream of immigration, non-stop. Folks like me who were Caucasian of European descent, for the first time in 2017, will be in an absolute minority in the United States of America. Absolute minority. Fewer than 50% of the people in America from then and on will be white European stock. That's not a bad thing. That's a source of our strength.
Yeah, man, we're going to have to say some harsh truth here tonight. How many of y'all black folks think this is good? I want to know how many of y'all think it's good. How many of y'all think it's bad? I haven't, let me just put it to you like this. Okay, so the Democratic Party, their plan is to make the country mostly immigrant. I mean, he just said it. When I'm talking about the border, when I'm talking about the influx of immigrants, and you are coming at me like I'm saying something crazy, that was a sitting president. He was president when he was saying that. You didn't hear him say that's the goal. He said that was the goal, dummy. He said the goal is to make it all immigrants. Here's my thing. Every time I turn around, I got black folks saying things like, "You're a white supremacist." We just had that Muppet Toure going and saying that, immigrants, and the immigrants are great, and of course, all of them love repeating this in support of immigrants, because that's the party line. That's what the Democrats want. The president, their last Democratic president, enabled humongous amounts of immigrants to come across the border. Then when he saw maybe he got too far, he tried to reel it back in. He did a lot of deport. People don't know that Biden did a lot of deportations the last year in office because he was planning to run. So he tried to clean it up. Just wasn't enough. But here's the thing, Johnson. The black people that say, I'm off because I'm calling this out, I think a lot of them mean well, but some of them don't understand. Those immigrants don't align with black Americans. In fact, fam, one of the main criticisms that the African diaspora people make about black Americans, foundational black Americans, and when I say, and see, that's why it's important to make the distinction, right? Because non-immigrant. We could just say non-immigrant black Americans. That means black Americans that have been here 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 generations. Or some who are indigenous, meaning here before the country was a country. They see us, non-immigrant black Americans, as too white. Sort of like in New York. They wanted Mamdani because Mamdani was an immigrant. The new immigrant wave does not respect black Americans who are foundational black Americans. They respect immigrants. And those immigrants aren't really black. They just get called black when they get here. But they really are Nigerians, Ghanaians, Congolese, Venezuelans, Ecuadorians, Chinese, Japanese, Ukrainian, whatever, but it's not, you understand what I'm saying? So my thing is we got a lot of people that believe that this will somehow make us stronger. Who is us? It'll make maybe the dollar go further for the rich. Maybe some corporations will be able to hire the latest wave of immigrant to work at cheaper wages. But you know who's going to be a pain in the ass? The non-immigrants. Because they'll remember a time when they got paid real money. They'll remember a time when you owned a house. Right? They still harken back to a time when we owned things and we had privacy and we ran the countries, at least it appeared so. It's becoming something far different than that. But my question to you is, why do you think this is good? I know why immigrants think it's good. They get to come over to another country, mainly a country that's probably more than likely had a hand in disrupting their country. I get all that. Wish I could fix that for you. Don't have a magic wand around, right? Totally wrong to destabilize other countries, right? Totally wrong, not co-signing that. But my thing is that me being here, me being a non-immigrant black American with families and kids and roots, and this is where all of my family's from. How does it benefit us? Or you think we just grandfathered into some coalition with these people? That's what you think that? You think that the first thing they say is no black. No black. Me no black. That's the first thing they tell me. I'm not black. I'm here on studies. I think we got a lot of people who have some misdirected allegiance. I'm not saying I got all the answers, but I'm asking all the right questions, family. And all I'm saying is, how do you think this helps you? You think Joe Biden's trying to help us? Is that what you think? You think Joe Biden really has our interests at heart? Or is he fighting for the ruling class? Is he fighting for working class? Is he fighting for black people? 40% of Americans, 40% of Americans can't afford a $400 emergency. You think Joe Biden's fighting for that? What did he do that made you get that impression he was fighting for that? He was never fighting for that. You think him wanting to bring in and change the demographics of the country, you think that was to help us? To help you? Yeah, there's a reason why I got so much concerted pushback. It's my voice started getting louder and louder on immigration. It's the reason why. It's not because I'm kooky. They heard Joe Biden say this. They know what he said. They could read numbers. They might not want to be honest, but they could read. They could hear. Most of them can hear pretty good. They stopped calling and stopped hanging and stopped being friendly, right? Because I was right. And that rightness goes against what the party is that they're either with or they need to stay cool with. The last thing they need is a toxic black man saying real shit on the airwaves. Joe Biden said it. Is that my fault? There's a lot of, openly, is that my fault that there are going to be people that agree with me who you dislike? I'm not on hate. It's not because I hate anybody. But my point is that if you're a part of a group of people that haven't had a fair shake in this country, how do bringing in other people in and undermine our position further help us? And do you really think immigrants who are coming to this country from their country, some of them third world countries, why do you think when they get here, they're coming here to help you? Family. If I were, I'm trapped in the wilderness. Me and my family are lost. We need food, shelter, a safe place out of the elements, away from the wild animals. You open your door. You let us in. What am I there to do? I'm there to be safe, to get from you, to get safety, food, shelter for my family, right? Oh, I didn't come there to help you grow your crops. I didn't come there to help you beautify your landscape. I didn't come there to be your friend. I'm here because I need help and you're there to help. The people living in La La Land, it's fine. It's fine to live in La La Land. But I'm not going to live there with you. We all got to see reality. And all I'm saying is, Black America does not have time for the bullshit. We got to be smarter than this. You can't see it coming. You don't hear this. That's the sound of the guillotines. What else does it take? Joe Biden was very honest. He said it proudly, plainly. He was not missing words. He wasn't hiding it. But unfortunately, when Joy Reid had her program and she could have been standing up for us, she wasn't. Why? You think it's an accident that her family are immigrants? Don Lemon, who everybody's calling a freedom fighter, he's the voice of free speech. When Joe Biden was saying this shit about basically replacing everybody in the country and making immigrants was Don Lemon the brave soul? Was he champion for Black Americans? No. No, he still won't talk about it. I'm just saying, because everybody keeps saying how these people are so great. They have platforms. And the sitting president, basically was talking about the erasure of us and nothing. But okay, fine. You want to be the loser and pretend that somehow helps us. Like I said, I don't have all the answers, but I got all the questions. And all I'm saying is, how does this benefit you? I know you think, oh, God, I'm a progressive. It's morally right that we get rid of white Americans. They keep saying Black people be afraid because once they stop going after undocumented immigrants, they're going to come after you. There's no logic that supports that. But a lot of people keep saying it. I keep hearing it all across the internet. What about once they get rid of white Americans, they go after black Americans? Maybe the goal is to have no real Americans, just immigrants that they exploit for pennies on the dollar. Who aren't used to, pesky stuff like rights. Who they don't owe anything to. Who don't harken back to a time of home ownership. 2 kids, a dog, a white picket fence. The American dream of home ownership. Maybe, I'm just saying, fam, I think some of us need a reality check. A brutal one. A wake-up call. All right, let's keep going, family. Let's keep going. All right. And I know it's rough, right? That's a tough way to go, Tim Blackman. You are being so mean. No, man, I'm being meaningful. I'm saying you need to think about these things. Keep telling you, they're going to start deporting you. Well, what if I say they're going to start getting rid of your powers? They're already trying to extend votes to undocumented immigrants. You don't think that's the play, Johnson? Really? Why have people here if you don't want them to help you win elections? You're a party, right? You're a party. Hold on a second, guys. You're a political party. There's only 2 major parties. You mean to tell me you let 5 to 10 million people come across your border and you don't want those people to help you win elections? Go. Now, it's okay to be crazy, but then you got to be stupid too. Does that make any sense to you? You really think the Democrats haven't thought about this? It never crossed their minds. Really? Is that what we said?
I'm not. Okay, now I am. Yeah, there's only 2 major parties. The Democrats and Republicans. And you. You're the other party. Foundational Black American. So now we got Tucker Carlson and them saying heritage Americans, right? Let me play that Joe Biden part one more time. Let's play that one more time. Just the Joe Biden part.
Not only our Muslim communities, but African communities, Asian communities, Hispanic communities, and the wave still continues. It's not going to stop, nor should we want it to stop. And as a matter of fact, it's one of the things I think we can be most proud of. So there's a second. Not only our Muslim communities, but African communities, Asian communities, Hispanic communities, and the wave still continues. It's not going to stop, nor should we want it to stop. And as a matter of fact, it's one of the things I think we can be most proud of. So there's a second thing in that black box, an unrelenting stream of immigration, nonstop. Folks like me who are Caucasian of European descent, for the first time in 2017, will be in an absolute minority in the United States of America. Absolute minority. Fewer than 50% of the people in America, from then and on, will be white European stock. That's not a bad thing. That's a source of our strength.
Yeah, man, we're going to have to.
There it is. That's the right one. And what am I supposed to do? Is that all? Okay, that's on. There it is. So yeah, I mean that's it. That's all I really had to say. I just wanted to share that over again because that was a key moment in his presidency, and it did major damage to foundational Black American families and households, I mean major damage to us, our communities, major damage to our our culture and most likely and our consciousness because we were suffering a lot of mental health issues in our neighborhoods. I think that's all I'm gonna end like there. What else am I supposed to say? You know, and this whole narrative of blame Trump, 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 blame Trump. They got it's over. It's especially over since. What am I doing? Yeah. So I was just hitting the button to show it on the thing. And you might not be able to hear it. Yeah, you might not be able to hear this because the way I got it set up. That's all good. I guess let me get back to the music then. Let me see if I can get the music working again. And I had fun making this video. This was a cool video. There it is. Volatile modulus tautology. Like I said, I had fun making this video. Hopefully it comes out pretty good. I mean, I've been blackballed ever since I first, because 2020, the Biden switch really messed me up because I've always been a blue collar manager, and I work my way up, and I'm on the brink of becoming a white collar manager. You know, anybody that understands the difference between white collar and blue collar workers is the same as the house Negro and the field Negro. It's just that now when we say, house Negro, field Negro, it's that's the N-word. Like, no, it's not. Right? The N-word is just a derogatory expression to slaves, ex-slaves or freemen or whatever position you want to, claim, just like whatever position you want to claim as far as being Democrat or Republican. Donald Trump is a Democrat. Just because he says he's a Republican now doesn't mean that he's not a liberal capitalist. That's what he is. He's always been a liberal capitalist. Him and Jesse Jackson and Al Sharpton used to be what's called cronies. Now Trump is trying to say, he's going to be more on the conservative side, but it's, he just bigged up the Democrats for Black History Month. Like, he did another Black History Month celebration. I might cover a little bit of that tomorrow. Because I ain't check it out yet. I'm going to check it out, and I might share a little bit of that. I might go live and share a little bit of that because I want to see what he said, But all this hate Trump. When he gave us, he proposed, when Ice Cube asked him, what do we get for our vote? Trump actually said, I got this platinum plan for you. And instead of going over the platinum plan, like, all right, these are the keynotes of the platinum plan. These are the things that you promised us, those that voted for him, the Black people that voted for him. And yes, the Democrats are going to be like, no, it's not that many Black people. You voted for him. And then as soon as you say you did, they're going to treat you like like you are evil, hating, self-hating person. And it's like, yo, man, stop, dude. Yeah, y'all really got to stop that. You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all think it's cute and all, but I'm catching a lot of Pan-Africanists in their feelings, because it's like, we sold them out. Like Umar Johnson, he's in his feelings right now, because we're tired of him, trying to pimp, to pimp our women for the party that broke up our families, right? They made all the promises to the women, make them the head of the household, and that means the man is the tail of the household, and that doesn't work, right? So now I'm seeing videos of Chauncey, not Chauncey, what's his name? I forget his name now. Colin Powell, no, not Colin Powell. Clifton Powell. But Chauncey, I think Chauncey was his name in Pinky was his name in Friday, right? Or I'm trying to remember now. He played a lot of roles, and he's the he's the extra dark Eddie Murphy, he's a great character actor, great character actor, and I might share a little bit of him and him arguing with this gay dude, and it was so whack, like, you know what I'm saying, like, so it is the Don Lemons wanting to speak for black men, and it's like, dude, sit your candy ass down, yo. You can't speak for black men. You know what I'm saying? And don't give me all this, you're straight, so you have mental health. Like, nah, dude, get back up, yo. We love God. We respect the Lord. We seek wisdom. We pray on the Sabbath day and all the days in between. We honor our mother and father. We live life. We befriend and then marry our women. We give. And if we receive, it's all blessings. False true. That false true that's when we get into the binary, the bits, the logic, the art of logical thinking, or the law of reasoning. But we'll get more into that. And I reached the end of the video. How much time was that? 36 minutes. I went over time. So hit that like button, subscribe, and share. I'll be back later on today because I'm recording this late night, and I'm going to take a nap, and then I'm just going to put it out there and see how it sounds. And I'll be back with more hip means to know. You know what I mean? Well, no, that's we ain't do our Rakim today, right? Knowledge will begin until I finish this song, cause the rhyme gets rougher as the rhyme goes on. You sweat as you step about to get hype, or should you just listen to the man on the mic? You're physically here with me, but how could you tell if it's meant to be hip-hop if you're not mentally as well? One God, our Father, all the time. Hip-hop, life, love, one. That's God is love. Hip-hop is lifetime. Treat it more precious, yo. Money? That's nothing more than a fourth dimensional illusion that really doesn't exist, because it is hip-hop that's the art of making the most out of life. Y'all want to call it economics without managing your business. First learn how to manage your business, and then the economics will come. Harmony and happiness. That's the 10th commandment. Y'all rather be jealous of your neighbor's house, wife, etc., etc. That's why letting all these illegal aliens into your country is dumb. And the Democrats have to pay for that. And they have to take accountability and responsibility for Joe Biden. Until they do that, let the Democrats die. Because I have peace. Yeah, rest in peace to Jesse Jackson. He was humbled in the end. I'm humbled now. But I'll be back. God's will. One. God is understood.